Larry, it's an excellent question, and I'm going to respond and try to give you a little history. You know, I was a delegate to the 1973 Constitutional Convention. I was an elected representative from my little hometown of Faraday. Most of you have heard of Faraday, very famous for the home of Jerry Lee Lewis, Reverend Jimmy Schwaggart, and Mickey Gilley, who was the Country Singer of the Year. And most famous last person, by the way, Larry, is my daughter Campbell, who has us a show every night on CNN at 7 o'clock. She'll be on at 7 o'clock tonight. But in any event, when I was a delegate, we voted not to have any dedications. We weren't going to cut off all this money. We're going to let the legislature come down and set priorities like I think they should have, and then you would determine what the needs of the state were. And therefore, education and health care would be in the same boat as highways and all these other dedicated funds. Well, we passed that. In fact, I wrote that section with Governor Buddy Roemer. We were both delegates, and we were the co-chairs of that section, and we wrote the provisions in the Constitution. Well, little by little, different interest groups came to chip away. It was the highway construction people. They wanted to have a special highway fund. And you had different groups that dedicated their funds, and before you knew it, about 40% of the state budget was all dedicated, and you couldn't have the basis of that money to use to set the priorities as priorities changed. So, Larry, what we need to do, quite frankly, in my opinion, is to have a constitutional convention. I call for this, by the way. Some of you old folks, most of you ladies were way too young then. Some of the old folks knew that I ran for governor of Louisiana back in 1987. I was calling for a constitutional convention in 1987.